Welcome back everybody, and as you can see we're slowly filling out the save file menu. We got all the rush upgrades, and we have a main upgrade too. So we're going to go after a rather fun level actually. There's a couple tricky spots, but nothing too bad. So Tornado Man, and we kick it off with some of his rockin' music here. Interesting way to start the level. But over there to the left behind that cloud on that small ledge is a 500 point ball. You can get it in a variety of ways. Tornado jump after you've beaten Tornado Man. You can also get it via the Yamato Spear, or if you're really daring, Rush Coil. And here are some interesting enemies that we've met in Mega Man 5 and Gyro Man stage, and they're used to pretty deadly effect in this level. And these cloud platforms, to me, I think I recall seeing them somewhere in Mega Man 3 and Snake Man stage. Why they're here, or actually why would they be in Snake Man stage, I think they would make more sense in this type of level. And so here they are. Now this particular obstacle got me quite a few times. There's some spikes right up there. You want to drop down, jump to these platforms, then jump back onto the moving platform before you leap to the ladder. Very tricky maneuver to pull off. But once you get it down pat, it's actually not that bad. And here's our first hippo platter, completely concealed by the just cloud just sitting there in front of it. Kind of odd that. And then we get to a rather unique platforming segment. You just gotta take it slow and then see if you can kill these spiked droppers before they get to you. So you always want to take this area slow, especially once you get to the spikes here. Because one small move can be disastrous. Then of course you got this little interesting setup here. If the platforms don't move in just the right fashion, you're just not going to make it. And honestly, in terms of getting to the midpoint, that's really the worst. The worst is behind you. Got your good little balloon boo there. He functions more or less like he did in Mega Man 9, but he goes straight after you in this game once you pop his bubble, his balloon. He actually kind of makes a beeline towards your position, which makes him all the more lethal. Then you have these little wind generators, which I think was from Windman's stage in Mega Man 6, so already this stage is all sorts of an amalgamation of ideas and concepts from a wide variety of Mega Man games. And then of course you gotta have a snowy area with some ice physics. And if I recall, this is actually the only place in the entire game, this level, that has ice physics. And with good reason too, because they're kind of annoying. And make dodging these guys a lot harder, as you can see. So good luck for those perfect runners out there. Now you want to take this next section very slow, especially with that I think it's like a roto patroller, especially with that guy right there. That makes things a little bit difficult. Now the snow, for whatever reason, does make this... Oh yeah, and that's another point block right there, or point ball. Yeah, the snow makes this recording a little bit jumpy. So as I've mentioned in the previous video, this game isn't exactly recorder friendly, but Cam Studio seems to do a good, adequate job of it. A little tease of an E-tank there, hinting at an alternate path that you've totally skipped. And we come up to our third MM killer, Ballad, whatever you pronounce his name. Glory, that is him. He's got quite the pompous attitude, doesn't he? But he is quite different compared to the first two Mega Man killers in that he's very slow and methodical. So the first two were very fast and erratic. He is not so. He is very... He just likes to take his time and try to kill you. And kill me, he's going to. I mean, you gotta come in with full health to even be close to doing an adequate job of killing him. At least in one go. But we are going to come in this time, and his weakness is Star Crash. So you're going to have to get up close and personal to him to do any sort of damage. Now when he has his shades on, as you can see, and his spikes up on his head, he is actually completely invulnerable, even to his own weapon. So that makes this battle a little bit tougher. Probably I'm getting more damage incurred than I really want. Yeah, this is not good at all. So I decided to do an energy tank and not die, because this would be very bad. So as you can see, even with his energy, even with his weakness, he is a very tough customer. And I think the invulnerability due to his shades is actually a new addition. That's not something that's normally, I guess, an attribute of his in the Mega Man 10 version of him, and I don't think it's in the Mega Man Game Boy versions where he was invincible either. But yes, we will be meeting him a little bit later on in Whited Castle, for sure. And there's another alternate route up there that we can't get to yet. And we have some more snow. And there's actually a hidden point ball bonus right there on a hidden platform beneath the clouds. Be careful though, because there is a drop off to the right. Patience is the key here in this area. Very much so. And also steady fingers too. So we're going to see if we can do this a little better on the second time around, although I know I will. And this is how you dodge this guy. You just let him jump. And actually the Monorotors are different, even though they're pretty much the same enemy as the ones you found in Mega Man, or Magnet Man stage. These guys are different in that they will actually jump when you do, which makes them all the more harder to avoid. Now this is one of the trickiest sections. There's actually two tricky sections in the latter half of this level. Here's the first one. You have to ride a moving platform across death spikes. And here's the end of one alternate path. So these screens where there's nothing but blackness in back of them, they're kind of like transition screens. And here's the actual hurricane portion of the level. The rain actually fluctuates, which is kind of unique. I haven't seen this in any Mega Man game thus far, where the wind or the rainfall actually fluctuates as you go through the level. And that indicates how you're going to move when you jump. And so paying attention to the rain is actually very important in this part of the level. And this happens to be the final section, which is the trickiest of all, where the rain and what it's doing is super important. Like right now, you want to be jumping on these platforms as the rain is going to the right or straight down. Doesn't matter. But if it's going to the left, you're going to be in for a world of hurt if you try and jump between platforms. So this is actually the perfect time, is when it's raining to the right, when you want to do this platforming. When it's raining to the left, you just want to stay put and wait until it stops. Now there's two routes here. You can take the lower route, but I find that actually to be harder of the two, so I would advise you to take the upper route. And that actually gets you a little point ball to boot. Yeah, because the bottom route, you gotta jump between platforms with the low overhead ceiling of spikes, so that's just never a good day. And off to the right there is a 1,000-point ball off screen. You're gonna need the rush jet to get to it. But I'm just not gonna go for it right now, because I'm actually doing pretty good and I don't want to die. Ah, those guys are so annoying to try and dodge. And they respawn too. But only a few more enemies and obstacles left to go, and you're pretty much home free sailing all the way to the end of the level. And yeah, that's an odd little glitch. I'm definitely reporting that one. And yes, that's actually was quite a long level, and very tricky, but very fun. I think it's a fair level. I don't think there's anything unfair about it. However, Tornado Man is all about instant death. The key single change in this level, or in this boss battle compared to his Mega Man 9 incarnation, of course, is the two platforms in the center. He pretty much uses it to his great advantage to push you up into the spikes for an insta-kill. Now his weakness is Spark Shock, and it's actually quite a good weakness too. It does a good amount of damage to him. And he's actually being very generous right now. He hasn't done any of his... Okay, this is his second attack where he does these clouds, and if you get stuck on these clouds, they slow your movement and dull your jumps. And yeah, that is definitely a bug, and that has definitely been reported, and hopefully it'll be fixed before the final version. But yeah, those clouds slow you down and make jumping near impossible and dodging the rest of his attacks near impossible. So you don't want to touch those clouds that he generates. But Tornado Blow is an awesome weapon, and it increases the height and the length of your jumps, which I'll demonstrate in finding other upgrades and other levels. So it's a fun weapon. Okay, now this is probably the easiest and shortest way to get to Nightman's stage, and probably the one that's going to be missed most often by a lot of people. The easiest way to get there is Rush Jet. Straight at the beginning, you just walk over, cross all the ceiling, and you go straight to the teleporter. I mean, later in the game, once you get the Rush Jet, yeah, this is the teleporter to go to whenever you want to get to Nightman's stage. The one in Toadman and Megaman stage, they take too long to get to. And we'll explore this in another video. Now, for one of the major alternate paths here, you'll want the Rush Jet. In fact, this is the only way I can find that you can actually get onto this alternate path. It's almost implied that you need the Rush Jet. It's like required. But the path isn't really that hard. There's nothing really tricky about it. There's no snow, there's no blizzarding rain or anything like that. It's just... Oh, correction on the snow, but it doesn't make too big of a difference. Although you do have these clouds which obscure your view and you can't see some of the enemies, but again, no big deal. Okay, you can get up here any manner of ways, be the Rush Jet, Rush Coil, Yamato Spear, Tornado Blow, doesn't really matter. And this is a very easy energy tank piece to get, and that takes you right before the boss door in the Hippo Platter. But we're not going to go there, we're going to follow this all the way to the end and see where this alternate path ends up. And that's where it ends up, right after that tricky little platforming segment with the spikes. Now, you probably noticed this earlier in the video. The Rush Coil is not the way to do it. The Rush Coil is too brunt force, and that'll just fling you straight into the spikes above. Here's a tricky 1,000-point ball. But the only way that I've found to get up there, Tornado Blow is not going to cut it, is the Yamato Spear. It's like that alternate path is... it's forcing you to use the Yamato Spear. Which is kind of clever, I should say. One of the few areas where it's all indoors. I like how they implemented Windman's textures with Tornado Man's textures and made like a conglomeration of the two themes. I think it actually works pretty well. That was kind of a weird animation glitch. Now here's a little bit of a tricky area. You have to be patient and wait for just the right moment to jump off to the bottom one. That was a little bit tricky, a little bit too daring. Now here you want to be careful how you jump off. You want to jump off to the left here. Get rid of as many enemies as possible. Now the rush jet is the easiest way and safest way to do this, but with luck and some skill you can use the tornado blow as well to get the super armor. Now practically nothing can kill you. Everything does half damage. Awesomeness. And this just takes you right before Tornado Man's boss door. Okay, now for an Easter egg. Right here, if you go all the way to the left, you'll go to a very sly secret area where Rush Jet is the key to getting through here. Although you can't actually see Rush Jet, but you're gonna have to just feel him out from behind the cloud. And everything is pinpoint precision. If you make a mistake just once, you're not gonna have a lot of room to correct yourself, and you're gonna die. As I said, I almost made a huge mistake. And what's the Easter egg? It is Beck from Mighty Number 9. So you get to kill the newest creation of the Mega Man creator yourself. And okay, it's the magnet missile that is his weakness. And there you go. That is the Easter egg, and it takes you pretty much right before the trickiest part of the level. Go figure.